How's it going, everyone? In today's video, I want to give you guys a heads up on a newly released JRPG, and that is Mato Anomalies. Now, this video is sponsored by PlayOn. The game itself was developed by Arrowwiz and Prime Matter. Much thanks to everyone involved for giving me a copy of the game, helping the creation of this video, and supporting the channel. This is a JRPG that I've been covering a couple times. Let you guys know about that it was coming. Kind of came out of nowhere. Was announced a few months ago, and we got the release date really shortly thereafter, and it's a pretty interesting game that I think if you're into darker narrative-driven, especially, let me imperatively add to the fact, especially narrative-driven JRPGs, because what you're gonna find is that this game is incredibly in-depth as far as its dialogue and how it immerses you into the story. Now, as far as the game goes, it is for sure a bit on the darker side, so bear that in mind. If you like a darker, more eerie JRPG that sets a really nice tone, a really good atmosphere, I think you're going to find exactly that in Mato Anomalies. Now, I will add that the game is being released at a budget price point at $39.99, and it will be running the gamut of platforms. It'll be out on PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S, PC, and Nintendo Switch. Now, if you are familiar with some of the SMT darker narrative-driven dungeon crawling JRPGs, you'll find something very reminiscent to that in Mato Anomalies. Part of the game has you exploring this city in Mato where you can explore various parts of the area, interact with different NPCs, and go on different dialogue routes. And then the other part of the game will have you diving deeper into dungeons. We'll get into all of that in a little bit. It is a turn-based RPG that takes players on a journey across Mato, starring two main protagonists. You have Doe and Graham. Doe is more of your detective, human-oriented traveler that's going to explore the city, find clues, investigate, etc. Graham is the character that I think a lot more people are going to gravitate towards. From a character design standpoint especially, he stands out among all of them, and not to put any slight on any of the other characters, I think actually one of the strongest points in this game is the design and the character design and character artwork especially. I won't say that the visuals are absolutely out of this world blow away. It is definitely, you can see that it's more of a budget-oriented JRPG. It's got some nice aesthetics here and there, but texture-wise, it's not gonna blow you away. It's not gonna be a game that's gonna set the bar as far as JRPG presentation. However, as far as character design and artwork goes, I think those elements are handled very, very nicely. Again, throughout the game, you're gonna have different parts of the game where you explore the city as Doe, and then as Graham, you go on to these dungeon crawling missions, and it works pretty well to differentiate the experience. As far as exploration goes, it's relatively limited. You're not talking about a gigantic city to explore, but you are talking about these different little areas to go through, and you can talk to the various characters, find out more about the world. You'll have various icons that allow you to shop. They'll allow you to embark on different quests, speak to NPCs, etc., about the typical stuff that you would expect. I will have to say, one of the more interesting elements of this game is the mind hacking. It's more of a card-based battling system. That was actually one of the elements of the game that I thought differentiated the game more than a lot of other JRPGs. You know, it has a lot of elements that I would be very familiarized with in a lot of JRPGs. However, throwing in this mind hacking, this card game system into the game as well, it's interesting. It adds another layer to the gameplay, and more than anything, it does diversify the depth of the game. And I very much appreciated that because that's not something you see in a lot of other JRPGs, so from that standpoint, I thought that was rather interesting. You have different decks you can utilize, and it does add a little bit of nuances in how you tackle the game. That is more so Doe's main characteristic and gameplay style. Then as Graham, again, you do have other party members that you'll acquire throughout the game, but Graham definitely does take center stage. And with him at the helm, you do go on these dungeon crawling experiences that is very, very reminiscent of a lot of other games that you've played in the past. Not to say that it's poorly done at all. You do have differently designed dungeons that have a couple of different mechanics. Early on in the game, you'll see one where you'll have these floating blocks that you'll have to dodge through. Relatively simple stuff that I think most people can figure out, but does add a little bit of a nice nuance to the dungeons as well. And the combat system is a well-done turn-based action combat system where you'll have abilities that are going to be powerful against certain enemies, do standard damage against some enemies. You'll have abilities that'll do lesser damage against certain enemies. It all sounds relatively familiar, and that's because it is. Not to say that it's reinventing the wheel in any major way from that standpoint, but it's taking a formula and doing it rather well, all things considered. Now that's just straight the battle system. However, there are some things outside of battle that you have to consider as well. You have the gear matrix system and a dual talent system where you do have a talent tree, and how you utilize that talent tree is really up to you, and then you can reset it and go through the various yin and yang talent tree patterns, and then that'll upgrade your characters, and you'll have different characters that you can upgrade across. And then of course with that you do have an incredibly stylish ultimate move for all the characters that you can upgrade the pathways into that as well. I think more than anything, what a lot of you guys are going to be interested with a game like this is the narrative, and again, there's a ton of depth to it. Be mindful of the fact that there is a lot of dialogue. A lot of the sections of this game do play out like a visual novel. There are some sections to the game that have this comic book stylization to it, which I thought that looked really cool, and then you'll have your couple of cutscenes here and there, but for the most part, you've got these visual novel style scenes that are definitely what you're going to see first and foremost. That's going to be the majority of how the narrative is unfolding. Then you'll have those comic book style scenes, and then again for the bigger moments you will have a cutscene and whatnot. Mato isn't a normal city, but it pretends to be. Who could have imagined the evil hiding beneath the surface? Such difficult situations bring together unlikely people, just like our protagonist, young private detective Doe and the mysterious exorcist Graham. Utilizing their respective skills, they head out to unravel the mystery of Mato and defeat the evil force trying to bring about its downfall. Will justice prevail, or will our heroes fall victim to the corruption? That's the overview of this story. Obviously I don't want to go into too much spoilers, but there's a ton of mystery to the game. There's a ton of dialogue that if you pay attention to, it'll be relevant later on into the game, and it's coming together pretty nicely as I'm progressing along through the game. And so far, if you like a darker narrative, I think you'll be rather compelled with the story that Mato Anomalies does offer. So that's gonna do it for me. That is my first look, just an initial look at Mato Anomalies, a game that I will complete and give you guys my overall thoughts. But again, a lot of love to apply on Arrowwiz and Prime Matter for the creation of this game, providing me a game key, supporting the channel. Really do appreciate it. Again, it is available on the gamut of platforms: PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X and X, PC, Nintendo Switch, at a budget price point, better yet, at $39.99. Check out the link in the description box down below where you can buy the game. I'll also leave a comment down below. Click the link and check it out for yourself if you're interested. That's gonna do it for me. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comments section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.